Joining me now, Medicine Hat Tigers defenseman and Washington Capitals prospect Dru Krebs. Drew, hey, let's talk about it. You're back in Medicine Hat training camp over the weekend. First, just in a general sense, how has the last few days, the last week been down there in Medicine Hat? How was camp, and how excited are you guys to get the season going here?
I think we're really excited. It's we have a lot to prove this upcoming season, and I think it's also great to see the future and what it has to hold for our organization when we have the prospects and all those guys coming up.
Tell you what, you're a prospect of the Washington Capitals. You were selected in the 2021 NHL draft. It happens fast, doesn't it? You come from being a 15, 16-year-old player, making your first appearance at a WHL camp to now, you're in your 19-year-old year, and you're one of the older guys on the team. Tell me a little bit about, just that transition into becoming a bit more of a mentor in that Tigers dressing room, and how you've accepted that challenge.
Yeah, I think it comes quick. You don't expect how quickly it'll be, especially with the whole COVID situation. Um, it I only got half of a season and most of all the other guys, but I think you adapt and change. And being a leader all the way growing up with my minor hockey teams is an easier change, but is something to adapt to.
It's no secret you're part of a hockey family. You have two older brothers who've gone through the Western Hockey League as well, including Dakota, who was a defenseman like yourself. I mean, do you lean on those guys maybe a little bit for pointers here and there too?
Of course, if you have the great advice coming from them, I FaceTime them all the time, and yeah, they always have great advice for me, and coming from their situation and experiences in the Western Hockey League and then other leagues as well. And sometimes it's advice not regarding hockey, which can help my on ice and off ice attributes.
You're a career Tiger here in the Western Hockey League. When you look at this group, I mean, you touched on it, the youth. You're a pretty young group going into the season this year. But what aside from the youth maybe excites you about this team, and it's should excite the fans of Medicine Hat once the season gets going underway in a few weeks?
I think we're just coming up with we're a really hardworking team, and we're coming in with open minds, and I think our coaching staff is an amazing coaching staff that really gets us motivated for the season. And I think that's something to really look forward to see how much we can improve over the course of a year and 2 years compared to last year. Yeah.
I mean, you touched on it, the coaching staff as well. I mean, does it perhaps become a bit more of a steadying influence for a young team like yours, given the fact that you've got a veteran staff in Willie and Joe and all the way down?
Yeah, I think it really does. It really brings a sense of calmness and a direction towards the guys. And having Willie, who's coached in the NHL, and he's coached championship teams, and then also Joe, who's I think on his 13th season with the Tigers. I think that really solidifies that they know their stuff and they know what it takes to be successful.
Let's talk about you for a little bit. What's the summer been like for you, Drew, in terms of your off-ice work, your training, and what are some of the things that you've been working on to get quicker, better, stronger at ahead of both this camp and going to Washington here next week?
I think you said all the things that I wanted to work on. I think a huge one was my shot, and I think as well the off-ice, the mentality part. Being through a season where it was mentally struggle, being able to adapt and change and grow. I think that's a huge part of my off season, and being able to adapt and be successful when sometimes things aren't going your way.
Is that some of the stuff that maybe the Capitals have been talking to you about too, in terms of your player development, is just, progressing, not just physically, but mentally as well?
Yeah, I think 100%. I think at the next level, that's how you get there, is the mentality aspect. And I think hockey has really changed with that direction, and being able to mentally see the mental part of the game.
You have to be looking forward to getting down there too, hey? You certainly had a camp experience last year, but now it kind of, does it feel a little bit like knock on wood, things are maybe a little bit more back to normal this year, and you're going to get maybe a little bit more of a true camp experience here in Washington?
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoyed last year's camp. I was able to go to main camp as well and play with all those guys that I looked up to growing up. And having it around this year, it's going to be a special experience as well. And having it so that there's no COVID restrictions and all that is going to be a really great experience.
And my last one for you, you guys obviously had the first overall pick in the prospects draft in May with Gavin McKenna. What can you tell me about him, just kind of having introduced yourself to him and having seen him for the last few days?
Well, on ice, he's exceptional talent. He's smart, skilled, he's quick. And then off ice, he's a great kid, and he looks really determined to become a player. So I think those are two huge attributes to becoming a great player.